Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. If you guys remember that set, it just came out. It's like the previous new set. We had a lot of good reprints in that set, like some Granny the Dust Dragon, some branded stuff, some other good stuff. We got reprints for Herald of the. I'm pretty sure it's like the Herald card, the one that everyone's been wanting for Voiceless. But we also got this card, Red Lotus King Flame Crime. Now, obviously, this video isn't going to be out, at least right away, because RDA is probably going to be out by the time you guys are seeing this. But I thought I'd make a vid on this, of course, because, like I said, I don't think this card is that good. But we're going to get into it with the deck profile, because I did make a deck for this card, pretty much. It is pure, so good vibes. I know you're going to like this video, kind of. So let's get into it. This is not a video for the RDA series, by the way. This is a completely separate video. This is, of course, for pure RDA with the introduction of Red Lotus. So we're going to get into it. So starting off with the starters, they are literally pretty much the exact same from the other deck, because that's pretty much all I have access to. And I think Resonator Call at 3 is really good, because Soul is our best normal summon in the deck, of course. And then I'm still on all the ways to get access to Bone Archfiend just because of how good it is. And having access to Bone and Soul can search Flame Crime and things like that, and you can get access to other plays. So the starters are still the same, but yeah, moving on to the other cards for the deck, we are, of course, on one copy of Red Lotus King Flame Crime. I've seen people play 3, but this thing is searchable, so I feel like 1 is fine for now. And then we're on the Wild Wind in the main deck just because you want more extenders, because obviously this is a pure build, so you want to have access to your synchro plays. Catalyzer, of course, because if you guys remember in the last video, by the time it's out, it's not out yet as of the time of recording, but it will be out before this one. I said that Catalyzer wasn't viable while Red Rising's at 1, but because we're in pure, we do have multiple Red Risings, so we can play Salamander Catalyzer in pure. Of course, then we have the UV Loop. It's still a very good card, and yeah, that's pretty much it for those cards. And then for the Resonators, the rest of them, we still have 2 Vision, the 1 Crimson, and the 1 Synchron. And, of course, that pretty much hasn't changed. But onto the traps. We're playing a semi-new-ish one. It's new for the channel. Red Rain. This is the card you want to send off of Red Lotus, and then it adds itself back and you can set it. It's pretty much all you end on, but this apparently is good against Snake. I haven't tested this card properly out yet, but I thought we'd try it out. And then Red Zone, because obviously you want to play Red Zone. Because it is searchable and it is like the best. And then the non-engine's still the same as in the other video as well, typically because it's like the best lineup for against Snake Eye and stuff, having effect negations, and then Ghost Spell against their stuff, and then Ghost Ogre against Tempai. I feel like this hand trap lineup's not going to change for a while for all my decks, assuming I do play them in all my decks. The extra deck has changed a little bit. Pretty much it's just like our old pure build. So we're on 3 Red Rising Dragon, because, of course, you want to play this. You make this most of the time, and in most of your combos you do play 2. 1 Q-Belt, of course, 2 Scarred, and 2 Red Dragon Archfiend, of course. And then we're on the Scarlet, because obviously the Scarlet is very good. We're on Void Ogre Dragon. You guys should know this card. You guys remember it's like a semi-oldish card for our deck. 2 Abyss. You may be questioning why not 1, but if you're playing pure, you might as well play 2, because sometimes you can make 2. You go through 1, and then if your board gets broken turn 2, you can make it turn 3. Bane, Dispatter, and Supernova, just the basic cards, of course, Dispatter being the mandatory one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then for the combo, it's literally so basic, and I'm going to explain why I don't like this combo. It's just Soul by itself. Normal Summon Soul effect, you're going to actually search the Flame Crime monster, the new Red Lotus King Flame Crime. And it's an activated effect to special, kind of like Crimson. And you don't want to use this burn effect, because you're going to just synchro it away into Red Rising Dragon. It's up to you how you want to chain block this. You can go chain 1 Red Lotus to dump a trap, and chain 2 Red Rising target Soul. So you summon back Soul, and then of course dump Red Rain to the graveyard. And then you synchro these into Abyss. So Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And that'll trigger the Red Rain to add it to hand, and then you set it. And then you pass like this. Typically, why I don't like this combo loses to one hand trap. You stop Soul Resonator, assuming you don't have any extenders, this combo's dead. Like, you literally can't make this combo. Assuming unless you already have access to Red Lotus, and that's fine. But literally, like, 1 to 2 hand traps stops this play. Another, like, issue is that, sure, Red Rain is good. like being able to banish their board, you keep the Abyss. It's not enough compared to the other build, the Centurion build, because even though this is pure, obviously pure is really good, like by itself, you don't even need another engine for this deck to be good. I just like the Centurion build because it actually does a lot more things and allows me to actually experiment with the deck more. But the problem with this, card is that it requires too much setup. I feel like they could have done more, a little bit. Like, sure, it dumps a trap, that is nice, but obviously dumping the traps forces you to play them, and sometimes they're just bricks. Like, you don't have to play all of them. Like, obviously you see this deck just only plays Red Rain, but I see a lot of people like to play the other traps that like are really good, like Time to Stand Up and like the other ones that you can't search. But like I said, like if you want to play them, they can be bricks, because like if you open a hand, like let's say you open a hand of Red Rain, obviously you might end up bricking on hand trap. Let's say you open like Double Mourner, or like this is like an example. Like obviously this isn't always gonna happen. Like you open Crimson and then like a Vision or something. Like what are you gonna do? Like you're bricking on the traps most of the time. Like with this scenario, like sure the traps can be good, but they're not all that good. So it's just scenario if you want to actually like properly play this card. That's why I only got one, as to like test it out. I might do some more experimentation, but so far the Centurion build is the best one. Like variant in my opinion, not counting like the pure. Speaking of which, finally got that Psychic and Punisher, so that's also nice. A little spoiler for the next episode. I guess we can do a quick test hand, even though it's literally just pure, so you guys should already know the combos for pure Red Dragon Archfiend. And you don't have to play Wild Wind, I just put it in as like the 40th card. You can always play another hand job. So this hand, we got Catalyzer, Double Veiler, Ogre, and Prosperity. This is what I'm saying. A lot of the times in pure, you do end up bricking a bit more, but I mean, it's situational. But luckily with Prosperity, we can banish 6. So the 6 I'd recommend banishing is 1 Abyss, Scarlight, 1 Scarred, 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, Q-Bell if you know you're not going to make it, but 1 Red Rising, and either Bane, like I'd say either Bane or the Q-Belt. So like those are the 6 you'd want to banish off Prosp. And then of course you reveal 6. So I'm just gonna put this up here. Typically you add Soul. The problem with this deck, though, it does lose to Droll sometimes. Unless you have Bone Archfiend, you can just make a Synchro board, but assuming you don't, literally this hand lost to Droll. Like, we add Soul, they Droll us, we lose. But assuming they don't, we normal Soul, add Bone. Bone send Bone send like because we open Double Veiler, we can discard a Veiler, or we can even go Catalyzer effect, revealing the Bone. Now we don't have to use its second effect to discard it, so we have a level 4 extender effect. Target Soul, dump Crimson. Like these are like some of like the major like issues I've noticed with this deck, is that it tends to brick. That's why like I didn't really play it as much, because obviously like it didn't do a whole lot. But I mean, instead of the Bone line, you could have always grabbed the Red Lotus instead and did that combo I showed you, but I just don't think it's worth it, man. Like I said, just ending on an Abyss and a Trap by itself, it does quite a bit, but it doesn't do enough, personally, in my opinion. So that's why I think just playing Bone Archfiend, and you're just better off playing pure without it, or like just not like relying too much on it. Like, it's just situational. Like, obviously, like it's still like experimentation and stuff you still have to do to figure out like the combos for it to see if it's actually better. There are some like good end boards with it that you can make as well, but that does require you to open things as well. It's just situational. Red Rising, target Crimson, Crimson effects. You know, just the basic combos, summon Vision and Synchron. Where is Synchron? Resonator. There he is. Then you make Scarred. Just gonna trigger the Vision to add the Crimson Gaia. Add Gaia. Should probably actually show you guys what's actually in my hands. So we have 3 hand traps, and then these, you can kind of see them from here. Make Abyss. It's just situational, man, like I said, but it's really up to you if you want to actually play it. I'm not like judgy towards anyone who actually wants to play it. Chain 1 Scar 2 Synchron, add back Vision, summon Red Dragon Archfiend. Make this batter. even though it's not live. And then we can do a cool, unique play. We can go Vision Special, and then we can activate Bone Effects. We didn't do that yet. That's why we did... Oh, wait, no, we did because of Catalyzer. So, honestly, I'd say you do Catalyzer, Reveal Bone in that case, and that way you can use Bone's effects and, like, a Veiler, because we have 2 to summon it. And that makes Red Rising Dragon. Number 2, bring back Vision. And then make Void Ogre Dragon. Like, that could still do things. We can end on, like, a Void Ogre, Dispatter, and Abyss. With Gaia, activate Gaia to add Red Zone, of course. Because we do have a live Dispatter pop, remember, because we prosped. So add Red Zone, set the Red Zone, and then go to the end phase, pass like this, and we have 2 hand traps. We have a Ghost Ogre and a Ghost Veiler. A Dispatter pop by shuffling back one of our banished cards. Typically, the one you'd want to shuffle back based off of what we banish would be the Scarlight, so that if our board gets nuked, we can do that afterwards. That would trigger Crimson Gaia to summon back a RDA, and then that would trigger Red Zone being live and Abyss Negate. You guys get the idea up here. But, yeah, that's going to pretty much do it. Sum it up. As for this card, though, like Red Lotus, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't mind it. Like, if you want to play it, feel free to play it. This is just obviously like a my-based opinion on if you actually think it's worth it. But honestly, the only trap I'd recommend playing with it, if you are gonna play it, is Red Rain, because obviously it's like the only like decent one you'd want to play at least. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you would like to. Greatly appreciated. Also, check out my friend Dark Jester. He's going to be uploading some more stuff. His YouTube link is in the description of the YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I will see you on the next one. Peace out.